What's going on, guys? Shot Callers Podcast back here with another video. Today we're going to be talking about yesterday's games, Wednesday, 2, 3, 21 games. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, turn on notification, Noti gang, so you never miss a beat. Okay? Day 14, Bradley Beal has not been traded, ladies, gentlemen, and Paula's. For what it's worth, like I said in my last video, I don't expect Bradley Beal to be traded, so I'm not sure how long we'll keep this trend going. Ladies, gentlemen, and ballers will not be cut out though. Y'all seem to enjoy that, make it a little meme, so we'll keep that going. But we're first up going to be talking about the 76ers and the Hornets. Before we talk about that, be prepared. Me and Demon Cardi, or is that his username? Anyways, Cardi are going to be live streaming Sunday at 12. We're just going to be talking about NBA for about an hour or two in that time span. So just kind of stay tuned for that. Be prepared. It'll be really fun. Just come on. Join the stream. Just gonna be having fun. Guys can like talk with us in the chat. Maybe we'll discuss our NBA topics that we have written down. But at the end of the day, if you guys have any questions, maybe we can answer them, anything like that. Without further ado, let's talk about the 76ers and the Hornets up first. This game was a good fight for the Hornets, I guess. I mean, the 76 were up by like around 17 to 20 points, and then the Hornets came back towards the end. But like, I don't think anyone really cared. Like, they made a comeback, but they weren't really going to come actually back. But for what it's worth, Ben Simmons this was another, in my opinion, passive game, although he did put up enough shots. There was times I kept seeing Devontae Graham guard, and I'm just wondering, like, come on, bro, like, post him up. You can go get a bucket whenever you want. Yada, yada, yada. But overall, though, this was just a good game. For the Hornets' perspective, though, as more what I want to talk about. It seems like I'm talking about them a decent amount just because of Lamelo Ball, but for some reason, it just seems like the Hornets at times, like, their offense just looks really good, and at other times, they just look like a mess. When Lamelo Ball is in the game, though, is more when they look better, but I'm not really gonna like say too much about it because at the end of the day, this is more of a younger team. Now they do have some veterans like Goran Dragic, Cody Zeller, and sort of that. But I think when it's led by, it just seems like by younger guards with less experience. I'm not saying that Terry Rozier is like a younger guard. He's been in the league for a few years, but this is really his second year as a starter as the commander of an offense. I'm pretty sure he was injured this game though. But my point is that commanded by a young star in the Lamelo Ball, there's going to be some hiccups here. But overall, I would like what the Hornets have done. Although they might not have the best record, I do like seeing what they're doing. Now, my stance on Lamelo Ball, I was on the stance that I do think that they should have kept him on the bench, let him learn. But after seeing him starting at this point, I truly believe that LaMelo, because I always thought LaMelo Ball was going to be that guy. Like, I thought before coming into the draft, he was that guy. Like, he was too smart to not be good. But at the end of the day, I think for someone as talented as him, and as much as he's showcasing, you just got to let him go. Like, kind of like what the Mavericks did with Luka Doncic his rookie year. As soon as they saw that, like just like that, as soon as they saw it in him, they let him go out there and play. They gave him the keys of the offense. And I think the Hornets at some point should really start doing that and move Devontae Graham at sixth man. Because at the end of the day, LaMelo is playing at the end of games, which is really all that matters. And they're having that three guard, when Terry is healthy, of course. Terry, LaMelo, Devontae, Goran, and like Cody Zeller / Miles Bridges / PJ Washington, depending on the game. So I do like seeing that. But yeah, I think it just came to a point where I think he's proven enough to where he's just so talented. Like, he's just one of those like generational talents. I think that you just let him go to work. But with that said, let's go on to the Pacers and the Bucks. This was just a blowout game by the Bucks. To be completely honest, I did not watch the whole game. I really only watched like kind of the first half. I was trying to go in between games, as you guys know. Sabonis, though, he had a great game. Malcolm Brogdon did not have a great game. But overall, it just seems like Sabonis was the one like playing good. The Pacers, they couldn't really make a shot really that much. While Milwaukee, on the other hand, was just like they were lighting it up. It was ridiculous. Let me look. 21 from 48 from three. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it for the Bucks. Yeah, that'll 100% do it. Giannis a triple double though, played great defense. Chris Middleton didn't score a ton, but it wasn't that he was like super inefficient. But at the end of the day, they got contributions from like Brent Ford dropped 20, DiVincenzo with 16, Let's see. Drew Holiday 11-7, but he had 3 steals and a block. Great defense. Bobby Portis 18-9 off the bench. Torrey Craig 8 points. I'm glad to see Torrey Craig's playing. I think everyone knew that Torrey Craig should have been playing in the first place, so I'm glad to see him playing. But yeah, it's hard when Milwaukee's pouring in 21 threes per game. Next up, though, we got the Hawks versus Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. This was a Trey versus Luka matchup. Of course, everyone was looking forward to this one. This was a game where Porzingis actually showed up, 24-11, played solid. Dorian Finney-Smith and Tim Hardaway chipped in. Brunson chipped in. I'm going to talk about Hawks and the Mavericks just a little bit, but I have some key things I want to point out. John Collins did have 35 and 12, but it just seems like at the end of the day, like when Trae Young's not in, like the Hawks just kind of like suck. Like I don't really know how to explain it. Like they just aren't very good. Now they did. I think that's why they signed Rondo and Chris Dunn, but Chris Dunn's been injured, and Rondo's at that age where like what is he gonna really do? Gallinari did have 19 points, although be it on like bad efficiency, he had 19 points. But yeah, it just seems like this team is significantly worse when Trae Young's out of the game. And I think that shows his true value. Now, at the end of the day, John Collins did have 35 and 12, like I just said, but there's levels to this, and that's what I really want to point out. But for the Mavericks side of this, I really want to focus on Luka needs to play a little bit less on ball. Now, let me explain. So, everyone knows that the Mavericks have been struggling, and this was a very key win for them because Porzingis finally stepped up. Albeit, I don't think the Hawks are a great defensive team, but what I'm trying to figure out is because I've been watching so many like people talk about, Mavericks need a secondary, they need another playmaker, they need this, they need that. Are we sure that Jalen Brunson can't be that guy? Now, I'm not saying he's an elite playmaker by any like stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying that whatsoever, and I do believe that they need to go out and get a better playmaker. But for the time being that they have with the roster that they have, I don't see a reason why Jalen Brunson can't be more on ball. I think Rick Carlisle's system has it so Luka just plays so ball dominant. And I think that's confusing people. Like, I think it's that lack of adjustment from Carlisle right now. It could be affecting. I'm not saying it's drastic or anything, but everyone wants to talk about how Porzingis is not stepping up. But like he's been injured. I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on another issue with this team, which is how they don't have another playmaker. They do have Trey Burke, but he's not a playmaker. He's a scorer off the bench. Can't really play defense. He's really just a scorer, and if he's not scoring, he's really not doing anything. He only had like 5 minutes this game. But I'm looking down this roster, and I don't understand why people are just forgetting that Jalen Brunson's on this roster. Like, he's not. I don't think in my heart of hearts that Jalen Brunson is just like a bad player. I don't think he's like great or anything, but I think he's a good enough, like serviceable guard to where there should be no reason why he's not handling the ball more than he is instead of just kind of like standing in the corner and being another like Dorian Finney-Smith type player. I'm not saying he doesn't handle the ball at all, but I'm saying I feel like they need to incorporate Brunson more in the playmaking role in order to let Luka, like, the load off Luka help. I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, this is my opinion. I did not watch the Clippers and Cavs game, but this was a blowout. Overall, I mean, Paul George basically scored more 3-pointers than the Cavs as a team, and that's going to get you a loss at the end of the day. But yeah, like I said, I did not watch that game. Next up, though, we got the Wizards and the Heat. I am glad my Wizards got a win. You already know, DC Nation. But with that said, I'm kind of getting a little annoyed. Maybe I'll talk about this on my podcast, live stream Sunday. It was, yeah. But I'm very confused on why everyone's like, oh, the Miami Heat might be a fluke. Like we knew they weren't gonna do it again. Like, bro, the Miami Heat have been screwed over this season so hard. Like, it's baffling to me how like people are so quick to jump off their boat. Like do you not forget that they only had like what was it, like a couple months worth of rest after they got to the championship? Like, they played their championship, and then as soon as the season starts, they're screwed by COVID and injuries. Like, I don't think I'm really trying to think. I think there's been one other team which I can't think of right now, but no other team has been going through that. Like, the Lakers had yet to be screwed by or haven't been screwed by COVID or injuries, really. And that's huge. Like, Literally, like I'm seeing these people that I really have not heard of, and I had to learn their names, play for this team, and I'm thinking like, bro, why is everyone just like surprised that they're struggling? Like, dude, they haven't had their full team together, and at the end of the day, like they lost people like Jay Crowder. Like, I don't care, that some of these players that play together already. It's a new season. Like, you gotta have that cohesiveness. You gotta be practicing. You gotta be around each other, and it's hard when you just came off a championship run, barely get any time off, and now you're dealing with COVID and injuries. Like, bro, that's so. I don't think people actually understand how difficult that is. Which is why next year, if things keep continuing to go south, maybe towards the end of the year, if they don't pick it up, then okay, I understand that. But next year, they're gonna be. I'm calling it now. They're gonna be my surprise team. If as long as they can stay healthy, add a few pieces in free agency, they're gonna be my surprise team. They're gonna be like top 5 seed, top 4 seed. Stamp it. I believe in the Heat, bro. With this type of organization, culture, Eric Spoelstra's too good of a damn coach. Jimbo is too underrated of a player, and Bam is too underrated of a player, and they have the correct pieces to like not be a good team. So I just want people to relax on that. Now, losing to the Wizards without Russell Westbrook, yeah, like that's not acceptable. Like, you got to beat that team. But at the end of the day, like I just don't want people to overblow this. Like bro, like it's more difficult and it's more complicated than you think. Than they're just like struggling. But enough with that. Let's go move on to the Bulls and the Knicks. This one I didn't watch very much. I did get to listen to Kenny talk about his Bulls though, and Rusty talk about his Bulls. And I'm glad I pointed this out earlier. They need a point guard. I said this before. Kobe White is not a true point guard. I'm not saying he can't play point guard, but he's not a playmaker, and this is not what that team needs. And I also mentioned this. I don't think I mentioned this on the air on my YouTube videos, but I mentioned this, pretty sure, to Brendan once, that Lonzo Ball would be a great addition for the Chicago Bulls. Like, bro, Thaddeus Young is like their best playmaker. They need, like, think about it. They need playmaking and they need defense. That's exactly what Lonzo is. Now, we can talk about a shot another time. That's not what we're here to talk about. Like, I think a Lonzo Ball, Kobe White type trade would be beneficial for the Bulls. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but I do think that would be a good trade for them. Julius Randle, though, solid game from him. Elfrid Payton, big game from him. Mitchell Robinson, great defensive game from him. Overall, this was a solid win for the Knicks as they continue to be better than what expected. I did not watch the Thunder and Rockets game. I did not watch the Spurs and the Timberwolves game, but shout out to DeMar DeRozan being slept on this year. I just want to point that out. DeMar DeRozan has been extremely underrated, and I'm tired of people hating on him. Just because he is not the number one option on a championship team does not mean he's not a good player. DeMar DeRozan has been great this year. His playmaking has been very underrated. I think he's an above-average playmaker this year. So I just want to point that out. I'm giving some love to DeMar DeRozan. For as much as I want to talk about like DeJounte Murray, Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker, Derek White, like, nah. DeMar DeRozan is that guy. I think if somebody trades for him, they will reap the benefits of trade for DeMar DeRozan. Next up, we have the Pelicans and the Suns. This was actually a really good win for the Pelicans. There's really not much I want to talk about here. Brandon Ingram and Zion dominate. Lonzo Ball has a pretty solid game, actually a very good game. I shouldn't even say solid. He's put up a good stretch of games lately, and I like seeing that. I'm finally starting to notice that Stan Van Gundy's letting him run point guard and not sit him in the corner or run him off ball. He needs to have the ball in his hands. So I'm starting to like that. But the Suns continue to just confuse me, bro. I really have no idea how to judge this team. Like, I just really don't believe that Devin Booker and Chris Paul like get all like along. Like, I don't know. Something's not right there. Something doesn't sit right there. I'm not saying there's any issue internally or anything wrong with like them together. I'm just saying their play style, something just doesn't sit right with me. Maybe things will change around. I'm just very confused because I'm watching like DeAndre Ayton not be as aggressive, and I'm watching this slow-paced team with young players not run the floor. Like, I don't know, man. I think at the end of the day, with this, I think it's just bad timing wise. Chris Paul is a great addition on any team. Everyone knows that. But for a young team, they need to get up and running. Run the floor. In the playoffs, I do think though that this type of style works considering how elite and how smart Chris Paul is. But I'm trying to just like I feel like they need to have more balance on that team, whether that's creating better lineups to suit Devin Booker and Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. Whether that's staggered Booker and Paul's minutes, I don't know what the answer is, but what I do know is that I'm just so confused. I need to watch more games. That's all I'm trying to say. I need to watch more games. I'm very confused on this team. Lastly, though, we have the Celtics and the Kings. I'm going to keep this really short. I really didn't watch much. Good win for the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, boy, that guy, he can run the floor. Fast playing league over Wall and Westbrook easily, I think, at this stage in his career. That boy can run. Marvin Bagley, though, continues to just be inconsistent. Buddy Hield continues to just be a trade piece, in my opinion. Harrison Barnes, though, shout out to him. I think one of the most, if not the most underrated role player in the league. He just continues to just be very solid. Like his number, he's averaging like 17, 6, and almost 4. Like that's good. Tyrese Halliburton, though, great game from him. I love seeing Halliburton go up. For the Celtics, though, I mean, it's difficult when you shoot 11 for 33 from 3. I'm not gonna blame that though. Tatum and Brown, I just didn't shoot their best game. At the end of the day, I just don't think this team is good enough to where they can win without consistently. At least, let me say that. Not that they can't win, but I don't think they can win consistently without Tatum and Brown showing up. Kemba Walker, though, I don't believe he played. Yeah, he did not play, so that was interesting to see. Jeff Teague did play 23 minutes and did nothing with those minutes, and it continues to be a disappointment. But great win for the Kings. Bad loss for the Celtics. It happens to the best of them. But with that said, wow, this video was 16, almost 17 minutes long. Jesus. But with that said, that will conclude the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will catch y'all later. Private KJ out.